am. Let's see.
Wait, when I'm on the other page, can you still see me? No, right?
On what page? And we're live, by the way.
Oh, I still have no signal.
It should be coming through shortly. It's still blinking on my end.
All right. Can you see me though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, here we go.
So one of these. Are you able to see yourself?
I was, and now I'm not.
Okay, something happened, but let's talk to the people on Facebook and YouTube while I am working that out. Um,
Okay.
but just let everybody just say hello, who you are, what we're doing.
We're good on Instagram. I see us. We're just frozen.
Let's see. Oh, yes, we are live because I see it on my phone. Let's see. Yes, yes, we are live. We are live. Okay, that's good. So all is well. All is well. So we're officially live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. How are you liking seeing yourself on Instagram and without
Um,
having to have the multiple devices?
oh, that's a great thing. It's just a little bit delayed, but
Yes.
I don't know if it's gonna figure itself out eventually because of the connection or whatever. But yeah, this is pretty dope.
Yes, and we are live. So this is what we did tonight. So we're live on your Instagram, my Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and the L Spot Instagram.
Nice.
And we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So we just maximize our space, our internet or digital real estate. So yeah, so I'm excited to see how this experience is like, and with everyone coming in, and us, just really, I guess, going global or in a way. Um, but how was your week? How's everything been going?
Everything has been going great. My week has been very, very busy. I picked up some clients with my custom designing, and then I'm adding new stuff to the boutique and launching that on the first, along with, studying real estate investing. So, and my munchkin and everything else. So I cannot
Awesome.
front. I'm a bit beat today. Like I'm sipping on the coffee, trying to you know,
Keep it together.
but I'm blessed. I cannot complain. I have a lot of great things going on with all of my businesses. So I really can't complain at all. How about you?
Awesome. Well, before we get into me, let's tell everyone about all the businesses that you have. What entrepreneurial, you know,
Yes.
journey you're on.
Yes. So, like I mentioned before, I have a boutique which I started in June of 2020, and that's been going pretty good. I actually just started adding my pre-spring collection to that. And I haven't like officially launched it, but I've gotten like sales already because people they'll see a picture and they're like, "Oh my God," who have my personal number and they're like sending me messages to order. So I'm not
Wow.
complaining about that at all. That's awesome. Then I added back on the custom design services, and I'm on my second client since since the beginning of this month
Wow.
for that. And then I have a printing company that I partner with, the hubby on, and that's going really, really good. We have returning clients, new clients every day. We're adding a team member. So we're
Congratulations.
excited about. Thank you. And Then I started studying real estate um, at the, in the beginning of January, because my goal this year is to own two properties. One I'm going to be living and partially renting, and the other one I'm going to be renting out. So
Yeah.
I'm doing that. What else am I doing? This amazing live show with you. um, so yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I'm also showing a mini collection. I'm gonna showcase a mini collection in Atlantic City during Couture Fashion Week in February. So I'm doing that too.
Awesome. That is amazing. And I want to say congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, with this new technology, because I just was testing and experimenting, so it for Instagram, it is showing up as different feeds. So we're
Right.
not going to see all the same comments, but it's okay.
I actually don't see anything.
Right. So right now, there's only
Okay, it's
one
back on.
person. Okay. So yes, so it's gonna be a new experience, but this is with trial and errors. I just want to let everyone know that it's watching when they see it later, that we are experimenting. For the most part, Facebook and YouTube is good. It's just the Instagram part because we're technically hacking Instagram. But
Oh.
anywho, yeah. Um, so as far as for me, what's been going on, is really just getting things together. So that docu series, we're gonna give you guys some updates, but I am super excited about it. We just finished the teaser, the social media teaser, as well as the trailer for it. So we're just putting some like final touches, but we're gonna update the team about everything. But I'm excited about that. That was like one of my highlights for this week of just seeing it come together because we worked on it, I guess, 2 years ago now.
I know. That's insane.
Right, right. Like the time has gone by so fast. Uh,
Yes, I'm excited about that too. It's funny because I was actually talking to my partner, and we had a home studio, but that's down, and we connected with someone. So now we're going to be using their studio.
mhm.
So yeah, so
All
excited.
right, because we do gotta do our finale scene.
I know, I'm getting ready.
Yes, so it's most definitely interesting experience, and outside of that, it's just really tapping back into my creative space and just creating content.
Hmm.
Um, and of course just continuously building my business as far as with the PR side. I'm in school, so school is officially back again. And what I love about school is that for this semester it's everything that's revolving around my business. So I'm actually about to learn some new things that's going to elevate the strategies that I use for my services. So I'm actually excited about that. Like all three of my classes that I'm taking is all related to each other, and I'm just super ecstatic about that.
That's awesome. Real quick though,
I
um,
think it's your internet connection because I'm looking at it now.
yeah, on my I looked on my phone too. It doesn't say that we're live on Instagram.
You are not going to see it as Shannon Shannon, but if you go to your other pages, like change it to like maybe Lifestyle by Chantel, and then
Hmm.
go to your timeline, you'll see that we're live.
Okay, let me try that.
And what you're going to have to do is share from one of your other pages. I'm assuming you
Okay,
probably have some of the same followers. So just share from there to let people know that we're on. That's what I just did on the L Spot page for the L Spot.
gotcha. All right, I see it.
Yeah, so it's a
Same
little
on that
tricky,
page.
but that's
Let me turn it down.
what happens when you're hacking things. You don't get the full
Like
experience as we would like it to be.
right.
So
But what
yeah.
he said, he didn't get his ping. He didn't get his.
Well, you guys should have, like, everyone should have still got it. Or you mean the DMs?
I guess when we like send out like the little ping that we do,
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably what didn't that's probably what he was talking about. That's what you was talking about, Mar? Yeah.
Yes, and then we also need to share on Facebook too because people are not used to us promoting or doing stuff on here. So I think we need to share. I see we got 3 people on your side.
Yeah. Mine's ready.
Awesome. So
Ready.
I need another device. About to open up this other computer just so I can share on Facebook and let people know that we are live, um, as well as on YouTube. But thank you for those that are watching. And if you're watching a playback, you are experiencing us, trying something new. I keep talking about it, but it's like, it's real things, right? We want to expand, we want to grow, we want to reach more people. So we're
Mhm.
just like experimenting with the platforms. And what I'm realizing is that we really don't do that often because we're afraid to be not perfect. So I just want to share with everyone that go ahead, experiment, and try things out. We are also waiting for a few more people to come in so that we
What
can talk.
about I'm sorry. What about pinning the topic?
So that
Are you able to do that?
I don't think so, only because it's a hack, but I never tried. Let's try and see what happens.
Okay. Mm. Oh, look.
It
Right
worked?
here. Yep, you can pin it and unpin it.
Okay, so for some
The
reason,
little dot.
I'm having issues on my end.
Can you see it? Okay, I just pinned it. So when I sent it in a comment, it was like a little dot, and I was able to pin it that way. What issue
Okay.
are you having?
I'm not able to post a comment and I can't fix it. I just did a boo boo. So it's gonna show in our video. But it's okay. We did it really quickly. So nobody caught it. It's past now. I just saw it
Trial and
go boo
error.
boo. But I think we could get started and just talking about the conversation and then people eventually join in.
Yes, yes.
And
Thank
then we're gonna go over to Clubhouse. Cause and let's tell everybody about the experience for Clubhouse for the last. I think we did it twice. Twice we did it.
you.
No, once.
Yeah. No. No, we did it twice.
We did it twice. So let's tell people
We did
about that
it twice.
experience, what it's been like, at least for yourself, of being on Clubhouse.
For me being on Clubhouse, I'm like warming up to it, honestly, because I'm not such a big talker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I like visual. I like seeing who I'm talking to and interacting that way. So actually like talking and not really like seeing expression is
Mm-hmm.
it's different. I mean, it's no different than like talking on the telephone, you
Right.
know. But at the end of the day, it's just that I'm not such a big talker. So after a while, it's like, okay,
What are we doing here?
what else is I ain't got nothing else to say. I don't know. But I love the concept. I like that different people can come into the room and you can and engage in the conversation and you can actually hear them versus on Instagram you can't really hear the
Mhm.
people's comments. You can only get to read them. There you actually get to hear from them and connect with them that way. So I like it a lot for that.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, it it's it's most definitely an interesting space for me as well. And I've been going on back to back this past couple of days with my church because we're on there now,
Oh,
and
that's
it's been
awesome.
an interesting experience, but it's an amazing one. But for when we went live last Monday, I just thought it was great that we were actually able to speak with people, and everyone got to share their stories, and one of the persons that was on there, they actually got a sale from me. They heard that I sounded a little nasally.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did, they said, "Hey," they actually had my number. They was like, "Hey, you sound a little nasal. Um, do you need some oils and a humidifier?"
Wait. You're gonna have to put me on. Keep going, but I'm gonna need the same thing. So just
So So just this week, I got the oils. So it could be
okay.
topical, where you could put it on your skin, or you can put it in humidifier. I always say that wrong. And it's called Total Life Essentials. Jennifer, she actually had was the one that hit me up and said, "Hey, I hear it in you. How about you get this and try it out?" So I just got it this week. I haven't used it yet, but it's just the power of conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the power of conversation, and that actually goes into tonight's topic of the power of your network, right? Because
Yes.
if I was not in Jennifer's network, or if she was not in mine, and me with a nasally nose, and she's into health, she was like, "Hey, I got something for you." So I think that it's important for us to build and grow our network. And I kind of feel like I'm starting all over a little bit. It's weird. I
Really?
feel
Why?
yeah.
Why is that?
Um, It's because a lot of the people that I used to be around, I'm not around anymore.
I understand. I get
And
it.
and it's like I'm also going into a whole new direction too, even within my business. So it kind of feels like I'm starting all over. And not
Mm.
technically all the way, because obviously, like, I still have you in my network, and a few others that I still communicate with. But it's just that group that I was once around, I'm like, I'm not even, I don't even see how I can fit back in anymore. But
But
that's just me reading a story.
you know what though? I think in life we go through that a couple of times
Hmm.
with a set of people, friends, or people that we connected with that we have around us, and then we kind of like we grow, and sometimes they don't grow with us, so then we end up being with a different set of people. I could say the same for myself. Friends that I've had that I really used to like hang out with 2 years ago, I really don't talk to them that
Yeah,
much now. And and there's not much that we can really like relate on. Like they're not bad people or anything
right,
like that. It's just that we don't really relate anymore. So I've kind of like outgrown that relationship.
right. And I think that's what it is
Oh,
for
I get
me too. Huh?
it. No, I said I get it.
Uh, it was a little delayed for some reason on StreamYard, but
Oh,
it's most definitely a different experience. But now I'm looking at network so differently because of, and even utilize looking at those past experiences, how I was able to do a lot of things because of my network. because of the people that were willing to support me, as well as me supporting them. And just
Mhm.
seeing how we all were able to grow and actually elevate into these new platforms, these new areas, right? That to the point
Yeah.
that we actually did kind of outgrow each other, but we're still technically there for each other. Like those people that I'm not around or don't really speak to, I'm sure if I hit them up, they'll be there, and the same thing vice versa. But with that, looking at network also doesn't mean that you got to be in somebody's face all the time either, right? So it's
Mhm.
just having a group or a body of people um, that you just have access to,
Right.
right? It's not even only about support. They could just be there, just your friends, but your friends may know someone that may know someone, and your friend don't actually got to be the person to provide the service or provide the support.
That's so true.
So I think that when we just net, I when we just create relationships, that's the word I want to use. Create relationships that turns into your network, and then that turns into your net worth. And
Okay.
your net worth can be, being able to barter, being able to pay for each other's services, being able to just be an additional resource of connecting you to somebody else, just connecting to connecting to connecting.
Mhm.
Um, or someone that just has wisdom in an area that you may not have wisdom in, or knowledge in. Um, that's where we should start looking at network, right? Because normally when we say network, is like who can do what for me, and they got to be in this industry, that industry, da 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 da. But if we look at it as this person who or people that I'm just around or just have access to, and if I'm in
Mhm.
need, then or not even in need, they're just around and just have that accessibility. Because they may, make a request. They may say, "Hey, let's do something." It's you just building relationships, and I think I'm starting to really understand the importance of building relationships.
Mhm.
But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Um, I I actually want to take a second and speak from my, you know, introverted or ambivert people out there. I mean, I don't consider myself an introvert. I consider myself an ambivert because, I love to be out. I love to be around people. But then I have moments where I just do not want to be around people. I don't want to talk to people.
Hmm.
I'll be out around people and just be like, all right, I'm done. I'm just chill and watch. But in the beginning of my career, it was a struggle for me to make those connections because of that.
Hmm.
So what I had to do for myself was like not make it like a personal thing or or I would just connect with them just to do business and I didn't really focus on building that relationship because I didn't really fully understand the importance of actually having the relationship versus just doing a transaction or a collaboration with somebody because I was just like I'm not really doing people right now. I'm staying to myself. So I get those people, but you really have to just not make it a personal thing and just open yourself up to um just creating those relationships with people and finding ways that you can actually connect with them because all of us are not that far from each other in the terms of like similarities and having things that we have in common. So, just figuring out ways to make those connections so that you can build those relationships and it be something that's like organic and not forced or feel like,
Right.
oh, it's just because of an opportunity. So I just wanted to speak from that place first,
Absolutely.
represent. Um, on the other hand of it, on the other end of it, but really not the other end of it. Just building those relationships is super important. I could say like I've recently, as an example, we have someone that me and my partner have been doing business with for a while, and we've been outside of just doing business with them, we speak, hey, how's the kids? How's this? How's that? We talk about different things on occasions, but we maintain a good business relationship as well. And from that, we got two referrals of business from this person because of the relationship that we have. And,
Mm-hmm.
it goes both ways. It's like everyone's helping one another out because they have those relationships together.
Right. And I've been in a lot of clubhouse rooms with like different millionaires, multimillionaires, and they all said something in common. It's all about who you know. So, of course, the work ethics and all of that for sure.
Right. I see that all the time.
But it's also about your network. And they said that their business or businesses could not have grown if there were no people. And when they said that, and it's like you know that, but when they said that and gave that perspective, I'm like, you know what? That is so true. That is so true. And imagine how many times we probably turned someone away or gave someone an attitude or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. Um,
Or made yourself unavailable.
right,
I've
right,
done that so many
exactly,
times. And just
exactly.
I've done that and it just like stops short those connections. Like you see it starting and then I make myself unavailable and bam, that's it.
Exactly. So I think that it's very important for us to um, just even if it's someone passing in the street, like I'm very more conscious of that now, of where you just say hello.
Oh, I talk to strangers.
Yeah, because you just never know.
All
You
the
never
time.
know. And it's not about saying hello to get something. It's it's just more about creating that memorable experience because you also never know how you can make someone's day, and they will forever remember you for that. Um,
Absolutely.
so I think that just being able to be a people person and building those relationships, and it doesn't mean that you got to talk to them every day, because I know sometimes we can feel, and I've done it, where I'm like, well, I haven't spoken to this person in years, so maybe they don't really rock with me like that, or we used to talk every day but now we don't. um, and it's not the case. Everyone grows apart. Or everyone's, let's say this, everyone's assignment is different. So when
Hmm.
they were in your life where it was consistent or every day, that was because they were assigned to you for that season or for that moment. However, it doesn't, when that moment is past or that season is past, that means their assignment was complete. But it doesn't mean that they can't be reassigned to you again. So now with that perspective is just looking at the networks that we have, because they're still a part of our network. And just really looking at that and just maintaining that relationship, and even if you want to sustain it in a way of where you do lunch. I mean, it's a little different now because we're in a pandemic, but if we are able to communicate, hang out, or do something, or just check in, hey, how are you? Without that feeling of, well, you didn't hit me up, so I'm not going to hit you up. Because we do that. As human beings, we do that. And I've seen it from so many people. I've done it myself too. So I think that when we really get conscious of that, that we can also have a healthy network so that our net worth can grow.
Absolutely. I'm gonna read a comment that Saya wrote, and then I have a question I want to ask you. Um,
Okay.
so Saya wrote that she agreed. She said hello to one queen, and she shared a whole opportunity to work the Oprah 2020 Vision tour months later. And we continue to share love and support with one another. We crossed paths in the bathroom. That's
Wow.
awesome. That
Wow.
is
That's
super dope,
it.
Sai. That right there shows the power of networking right there.
Yeah.
But I do have a question for you, Empress. You know, sometimes we make these connections with people and they want to they communicate with you and they keep in touch with you and they always want to be a part of what you're doing. And throughout the relationship, you start to see that they're not really like adding to you, like they're taking from you, and they're bringing like a lot of negative baggage into the relationship. So, with that being said, was there ever a time that you had to like burn a bridge? I know like some people say like never burn a bridge, but was there ever a time that you had to burn a bridge?
That is a valid question. And I am trying to determine or think about if I actually did burn the bridge. Where if it's really like we're not, speaking or anything like that. Um, I I don't think I've technically burnt a bridge as far as with business. Of course,
Right.
like
Or
friendships
personal life. We yeah,
is,
we've all done that.
is a whole different story, but that's still a part of your network too.
Yeah.
We
Oh
can't
yeah.
we can't
Oh
disregard that. However, now we know better.
right.
But as far as for business, I mean, there's a lot of people where I had to cut off, and I wasn't so soft as I am now.
Right.
Believe it or not, I was very, very straightforward. I mean, I still am
Ooh.
straightforward,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit different, but I think it was because of the type of people that I was working with that I had to be a little aggressive, and especially as a woman and you're dealing with men.
I get it.
So I came off a little bit more stronger, but I have cut a few people off because I just didn't like their work ethics. Um, but if I do hit them up, I'm still able to communicate with them.
So
Um,
like you didn't really burn the bridge then with that person.
yeah, yeah, and even if I was upset or felt some type of way, and maybe the same thing on their end, but I know that if I was to reach out, it will still be all love. It was just something that we all had to go through in that time.
Right.
And I think it was in our benefit because we are all learning, all just, becoming entrepreneurs and really getting a world of it and still having our human and emotional side
Oh
of
yeah.
things. But I think that today, for any of those people, and some of them I have spoken to, like after all of that stuff. So that's why I'm like, I know that there's no love lost. We're just clear of where we stand, whether if we are still doing the same behaviors or not. We're just clear of where we stand.
Right. Yeah. For me, let me see. Have I ever burned a bridge?
Did you like that bridge on fire?
Pew, pew, pew. No. um, I don't think I've ever burned a bridge, but I have stopped someone at the entrance of the bridge. I'll say that.
Okay.
Um, I'm a huge like vibe person. And
Mhm.
if I'm coming around you like one or two times and I'm like continuously like getting these like weird or bad vibes,
Mhm.
then you know, I kind of like leave it at that. Like I'm not gonna go any further. I'm gonna trust my vibe. Like something is not right, you know. So
Mhm.
I've cut off people at the entrance, but I don't think I've burned a bridge. And I know sometimes people say, "Oh, never burn a bridge," because you never know when you might need to work with that person again. But I think in some cases it is necessary to burn a bridge. I know
Yeah.
someone personally who needs to burn a bridge, but I'm not gonna say the names and stuff because it's not my place. But I'm like, you need to torch that bridge.
Yeah, when you said that,
Mm,
like before the entrance, that reminded me of a particular situation. I think I could talk about it because I don't know where that person is. Because we never even really got to do any type of business together.
mhm,
But that triggered where I had met up with this person. They had a dope app, dope product, and I thought that it would actually be very beneficial with all the stuff that we were doing. And I forgot how I met this person, but They we went to a restaurant that of an owner that I knew, and we went there to have a business meeting and eat. And he had flipped about the meal for something that he said he wanted, and he told the person, "No, I didn't say I wanted that."
Whoa. Yeah,
So
that's a red
that
flag.
that was like a red flag for me. And then, no offense, the hoopty that he had, it was a red flag for me. No, 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 because I'm like, I
Listen.
didn't have a hoopty then. I didn't have anything drive. However, it was just like something about the energy of just the whole experience that I was just like, yeah, this is not going to
You cut
work.
off at the gate.
And it's all at the gate. They didn't
Did not
even
pass go.
do not pass go.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just interesting, when you had those moments, and you got to look at those small details, right? Because that means that's how they are as a being, and that's how they may operate in their business.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So important to pay attention to those red
Yeah,
flags early
yeah,
on. That's why I said some
early.
people you might have to cut them off at the gate of the bridge. Be like, you're not, no, don't even cross it. It's not
Yeah,
working out.
yes.
So
And
Saya just commented. She said, "How do you?" This is a great question. She says, "How do you determine when to burn a bridge? I feel there are highs and lows within relationships, and sometimes challenges arise. How do you decipher whether it's worth putting in the work or effort?" That is a great question because naturally you're gonna have disagreements with people that you're working with or have relationships with. You're not gonna always be on the same page. Um, For me, it's all about respect. If we can sit down and respectfully disagree, whether we're doing business together or it's a friendship or whatever, um, you know, things are reconcilable. But when there is no respect, that's a big, huge problem for me. And that's when I say, okay, I can't go forward with this relationship because the respect, first of all, is not even there. That's
mhm,
number one. And also, sometimes people come into your life, business wise, personal, or what have you, and they just come with nothing, with their hands swinging, and they're taking, 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 taking. Especially
mhm.
if you're like a person that's giving, you're giving of your time, you're giving of your resources, and they're just taking, and they're never pouring anything back into you. For me, that's another red flag. So those two things, it's like, and we need to have some respect, and we need to be able to pour into each other. You
So
know,
I love that you said that's what it is for me, right?
right,
So when you were before you even went into your list, I was like, well, we have to look at what are deal breakers, right,
right,
for ourselves.
exactly.
Because some people can tolerate certain things, some people can't. When I was in this room in Clubhouse with the millionaires speaking, they were actually talking about this topic, and they were talking about how they decide who they do business with. And they said that if, based on their standards, if that person is not able to show up, if that person does not communicate, if whatever that deal breaker that was for them, they said then they won't do business with them. They said they do leave room for like humanity,
Yeah,
but at the same time they're clear of what works for their business. So if you're showing up this way today, then that means that's how you're going to show up going forward. So an example that happened in that room is, so it was the millionaires and there, a bunch of them with their own multi-million businesses, and they were actually giving people an opportunity to pitch themselves.
mm-hmm.
What was happening is that some of these millionaires are, and they're investors too. Some of them actually had said, "Hey, I want to invest in your business," or "Hey, I have this product that would be great for your business." So that was a lot of that was happening in that room. And there was this one particular person who they were giving actually they were just trying to figure out, get clarity on a part of their business. There was something that he did, and they were just trying to get clarity on that. But it was like he kept going back and forth with them. He kept like defending and not taking the critique or the questioning.
That's a
And
problem too.
right. And one of the guys in the room, the millionaire in the room, he was like telling his partner, because his partner wanted to actually invest in it. And he was telling his partner right there in front of everyone, he was like, now, you know, if he's behaving like this right now, that means that's what you're going to have to deal with when you actually start doing business with him. So I'm trying to
Hmm.
save you right now from not doing that deal, because that's what you're going to get when you start working with him. So that's real.
That person
That's
shot
real.
themselves in
You, it's
the
like
foot.
it's your first shot, your first try, your first appearance, your first, that is so important. And that is where people will determine if it's best to work with you. So I would say for Sai, what is your standards? What is it that you're willing to deal with, or
Hmm.
go through? And once you create that standard or whatever those deal breakers are, then you would know how to move with each person. So you're already clear that
Exactly.
if they don't show up on time, then I'm not working with them, because I know I need to make sure I start on time all the time. So, like, whatever that deal breaker is for you, you have to create that standard and stick to it, because what's going to happen is that you start feeling regretful. You're going to start hating that person or disliking that person. You're going to start feeling the type of way or start questioning yourself. Like, I started noticing if I start questioning myself, like, okay, should I go for it? Should I not? It's like, it's a no.
Yeah.
Because it should be so easy. It should be so smooth where I shouldn't have to question if I need to do business with someone or interact with someone or whatever it is. If you're undecided, is normally a no. Because normally, if we know we want to do something or want to experience something, will be a yes immediately.
Set those
So
standards.
we just got to set those standards. So I hope that helps. And that's something I'm learning to do now. Like, I was not like that before. I was that person that kept getting stomped on, getting back up, kept getting stomped on, getting back up. And I'm just like, I don't know why this keep happening to me. I don't understand why I keep going, keep getting stomped on, instead of saying, okay, let me just get up and just leave. Like, that easy.
My biggest issue I had to overcome was just just maintaining the relationships
Hmm.
for me, like I mentioned earlier. So, making myself available for that. So that was the biggest one for me, was that part. But yes, it's thank you, Sai, for that question. That was a great question, and that was an important question too, because sometimes we don't look at the standards that we might not always look at the standards that we set. Or sometimes we might not even set a standard. We might say, okay, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to work with this person, and you work with that person,
Flow.
no
Yeah.
type of standards, no boundaries, nothing. And then they're just doing whatever, and you're just back there just eating it. Like,
Yes. And
okay, one more chance, another chance.
it doesn't work. Like, I
Yeah.
was actually talking to one of my coaches. It's so interesting that this topic came up, because I was talking to my coach about this maybe 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I want to start doing partnerships with people, but I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit afraid because of that past experiences. And she did tell me, she's like, you have to create the what you're willing to allow and what you're willing not to allow in your business. So now, if you're already clear that this is what you want to do, or what you want for your business, for your partnerships, then that's what you look for. That's what you go for. You can communicate to that person, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, because then maybe they'll actually, change or fit in within what you would like. So you can always communicate that. But if they're still going back to that, pattern, that habit that you just dislike, then it's a no. It's not going to work. Or at least let's say it not right now.
Right.
Right?
And
That would be the nice way. Not right now.
not right now. And I do, now that I think about it, I do actually have um a story, a scenario where this is what I was doing. Um, you know, going into the beginning of um having team members, right?
Mm-hmm.
So starting getting finally getting into like the groove of that, in the beginning phase of it, which I feel like I'm still pretty much in the beginning phase of anyway, but the very, very beginning of it, what I did was I had a team member, one of my first team members, and what I would do was I wouldn't say like I did the work for them, but I made the work for them pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I had these expectations and I figured, okay, let me just do this, this, and this so that it'll be a bit easier for them. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why I had that mindset, but that's what it was at that moment. But then when I needed them to show up a certain way, it was revealed that they were unable to do that. And because I was basically doing the work for them,
Mm-hmm.
at least the majority of it, um, I didn't really give myself a chance to actually see what this person was bringing in and how they were actually, showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I had to learn how to do. Like, really, like, differentiate, like, okay, training someone versus just pretty much doing the work that you brought them on to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I did that. That was me.
Yes. And something that she said, and this is something I used to do. It's so crazy because like all the coaching I'm doing, I'm like, these are all things I used to do, but I just kind of stopped doing that. But she said that, to do a probation period. And you
Hmm.
can even do that with partnerships where it's with another
Yeah.
business and where you create a timeline to see what that person is able to do or how they work, just to give them that, space. But after that time, if you're still not getting what you need, then it's time to move on.
Right. Because like you said, it's not the right fit. It's not a
Right.
personal thing. It's just not
Right. And
now.
normally, when I do my contracts, and I actually still practice this part, is where I'll say, okay, we're going to sign on for 3 months.
Hmm.
Or I'll say, we'll sign up for a 6 month contract, depending on who it is. We'll sign up for a 6 month contract. However, for the first 3 months, this is going to be just to see how we work. If after that, first 3 months, if we see that we're not the best fit, then we can end the contract. Because sometimes, taking any client doesn't mean that it's that particular client that is necessary for you
Right.
or that you can work together. Um,
Absolutely.
so those are all things that are, things that we got to pay attention to when we are growing our network. But I think the main important thing about network equaling your net worth is just continuing to build those relationships, because you never know who knows who, how others can support you, or support each other for the
Right.
pretty much, and really grow our businesses. Because if we all come together, then we actually are helping establish and grow our business to new levels. Because, like, look at, if we use like a very current example, myself, you, Sai, Latrice, like, we're all supporting each other in our different businesses, and
Mhm.
we're sharing it with our networks,
Absolutely.
that our networks are interested in the services that we're providing. So it's like, when we continue to do that and build those relationships, all of our businesses are going to grow. So I think
Absolutely.
that it's important for you to have that network and just build relationships with people. Don't even really look at it as dollar signs. It does convert to dollar signs eventually, but just don't really look at it. Just continue to build really good relationships. Of course, if somebody doesn't fit for you, then that's okay. There's billions of people on earth. It's okay. Like, don't
And
beat
I
yourself
also,
up about it.
absolutely. And I just want to add to that too. Not only does it add to the growth of your business, but it also can add to your personal growth as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I see like you doing certain things, or I'll see like another friend of mine who's an entrepreneur doing something, and I get inspired by that. So that's something that's adding to my personal growth, you know.
Yeah.
So just wanted to add that
And
there.
something what I personally realized that I don't do right now, and I think it's because it's a new space for me, so I really don't know how to publicize it for myself, which is interesting. Um, but I think I just actually this weekend I
What?
actually took the time out to to figure it out. So because I'm in a whole new space, a new like clientele, I'm still learning how to find more clientels that's like that, right?
Right.
Because I'm a part of a network that allowed me to have these specific clientels that I have now. So now I'm like, okay, how can I expand and get those similar clientels, type of clientels, but without it solely being from this particular group. But what I realize is that I'm not talking about what I do. And that was my mistake. Because I used to be that person where I like, yeah, I do this, I do that, da da da. Like I was always making sure I sold myself. And lately, I've been very quiet about it. But I think it was because I was just trying to figure out everything of what it is that I'm actually well, not what I'm actually providing. I know what services I'm doing. It's
Hmm.
just that getting clear of who I want to do it for. That is where it kind of like stopped me from talking about it. But regardless of that, what I realized over this weekend, because Saturday was like my super lazy day, I did stuff, but I didn't do.
Ah, lazy day.
I slept
Oh,
all
what a
day.
lazy
That was
day.
my first lazy day in a long, long time. But I
Yes.
slept most of the day, and then I did like when I had an idea, I was like, "Ooh, okay, do that really quick," and then I went right back to sleep. So, with that, I actually got clear of all the things that I do and the services that I provided. And I'm also clear that I'm not limited to a certain group either. So I'm clear of what groups I'm not going to do, but it doesn't mean that I can explore in other different types of audiences. So something that I'm learning is just talking about what I do. So like now I'm going to pitch myself. I do social media management, I do media relations, website design, content creation, whether that's writing or visual content. So those are all the things that I do professionally within my businesses, because this both falls under the LSPA as well as Empress Lanice Public Relations Agency. And then I'm a songwriter, which is going to be a whole nother
Okay,
business.
let's forget to talk about that.
Right,
And I've written songs for other people.
right. So
I like never talk about it.
we need to keep it in conversation because that also grows our network because we never know who and how they can support, how we all can just support each other, because it could be where something where right now you're in need of somebody to manage your social media so that you don't got to worry about it, but it's like I'm not talking about, yeah, I manage social media, I do, this amount of work, this is what the results that we're getting. I'm not talking about it. So I think that's another important note to take away as far as growing your network. Is just talking to people about what it is that you do, what it is that you like too. It doesn't also have to be about business, like some of your hobbies. Like I played a piano. Not a lot of people know that. I like to sing. That is something people are gonna find out soon. But it's like I like to dance. I like to have parties.
Hey.
I, like to do so many different things, but nobody gets to see that side of me because I don't talk about it. I don't open myself enough. So that's why I'm like feeling right now my network is small because I'm not communicating of what it is that I'm doing where it can actually expand. Oh, wait. Hold up, side. So I'm still learning how to play the piano. So I do
She's
not
like, where
want.
can I get those lessons at, girl?
I'm like, I'm about to take some lessons so I can continuously grow in that. So
Yes.
I'm not there yet. Maybe a couple of years.
And you know what I'm finding too, with what you said as far as like, sharing more of yourself and letting people know like the different things that you do and that you're into when it comes to like social media. And I'm finding that when you share more of yourself, you start to attract,
Hmm.
different types of audience based off of what you're sharing and the fact that they might have a common interest as well.
Hmm.
Um, And I think that's a great thing. And I think that when that happens, then you can also start to filter out, because when people start to see what you do, people are going to start to hit you up for, your services. And then that's your moment where you can just filter out who you want to do business with or not, which I've recently done that with my partner. We had to filter out, with the printing business, some
Hmm.
one or two people that we just did not want to do business with because it wasn't you could tell from the gate it wasn't gonna go well.
Right.
Um, but just as far as like building your community, building up your network, sharing yourself, you definitely start to attract people with those common interests, and that helps with building up your community. That's where I'm at right now with what I'm doing. So that's why I'm making an effort to share more of my personality on social
Right.
media. As much as like honestly, guys, I'm not a big fan of social media, but I'm a fan of people. Like I like people, I love people. I don't always like to be around people, but I enjoy people and you know, um, just using those platforms that we're so heavily on now to build up your tribes and your networks of people. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I think that should be our focus. And honestly, I don't know if you saw this, Chantel. I made a declaration at the top of the year.
Mhm.
It was a video that I did literally on New Year's Day. I wanted to do like the whole big production, like how I did for Divine Timing. However,
Yes. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I did this one. I'm probably gonna re-record and go in the studio and actually re-record this declaration. But this year, I declared that it's about unity, divine unity, and that we're all coming together and really working together and growing together, that we are going to be the next, generation of millionaires within our families.
Yeah.
And that is my focus for this year of partnerships, because I'm clear that I can no longer do this by myself.
Yeah.
um, I'm not that egotistic person anymore. Where I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta be the one. I do still like my credit,
Give her her
just to
credit,
be
y'all.
clear. I still do, but at the same time, I know that it took a team to put it all together. I just did
Absolutely.
my part. But I did declare this year that this is the year of divine unity, that is going to be in God's time of us coming together, whoever those partnerships are, whoever we are to meet and work with, that is going to be so divine, because it's just going to be so easy for us to do it. And I feel that happening. I feel that, developing in so many different ways. So that is what I declared for this year. And that's where I believe our network will grow our net worth, because we are creating
Mhm.
partnerships where we're not only having our own interests, but we're having the interests of the community.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I'm actually on the same page with you with that. So yeah, most definitely.
Yes. So I do know that it is 10:40 p.m. We did go over our time, and I know soon it is going to be your bedtime. Gotta go to
I
sleep.
need my sleep. No.
No, that's true. I really,
So you want to transition onto Clubhouse now for a little bit?
Yes, we can do that. We can go over to Clubhouse and we can stay on there for maybe 20 minutes, see how that goes. Um, and yeah, so what we are gonna do, I think this time let's log out of YouTube and Facebook tonight, and let's just steady focus on Clubhouse for tonight as well, so that you can be in your PJs and know that we don't gotta be all dolled up on Clubhouse. That's the most
Listen, we going straight into Clubhouse. I ain't
right,
taking nothing off until I'm done.
right. Like, oh my gosh, really quick. When I went into Clubhouse the past couple of nights, I was like getting ready for bed, and then my I just happened to go into one of the rooms, and my bishop was like, "Oh, let's bring Empress up." I'm
Right on the
like,
spot.
I'm about to go to sleep.
I just came to be a spectator. Like, why?
Right?
I actually went on earlier too. On two, I was in two different rooms, but I didn't stay in long. I got in and I was like, okay, just
Yeah.
checking it out. Someone invited me in a room, but yeah. All
So
right, so let's make that transition. Thank you everyone for engaging with us as usual. Your questions were great. Your comments were great. Um, we're just super excited to have the opportunity to be on these multiple platforms with all of you and have these conversations that are important to our lives, important to our businesses, and just get an insight from one another and share with one another. Um, this is the place where we're building and we're connecting with you all. And we just thank you all for engaging with us and coming on tonight.
yes.
Want to say
Thank you
anything?
guys. Yeah, just thank you and meet us on Clubhouse. Look for Empress Lanice, or you can look for I believe it's under Shannon Shannon.
Shannon, Shannon, yeah.
Shannon Shannon, and we will be over there so you can join the conversation and actually speak back to us. So we'll see you guys there. Good night.
Night and night.
Night.